Let's talk about Black Myth Wukong. I know you're excited about that one.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. I've spoken about this on the show a few times, and you sent me a text. I think it was over this weekend, right?
Yep.
Over the weekend or last week or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got the message and I was like doing something at the time, and I thought, you know what, the best way to watch this is obviously on my 55 inch, and that's exactly what I did. Fired up YouTube on there, watched the whole thing intensely, and it's more of the same, which is a good thing.
Mm.
It's just we're getting more visuals now. We're getting a closer, quite literally, look at this Unreal Engine, which I believe is the engine they're using,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks remarkable at times. The way that I guess Wukong, perhaps that's what his name is, the main character, the way that he moves through the snow, it just looked so real. So they were really showing off a lot of those mechanics and a lot of the power, I think, of this engine, which is the most important thing to consider while
Mm.
watching this trailer, is I don't think it's so much the game, it's just what this engine can do. I mean, just some of these artifacts and the sort of design on these temples and stuff, it just looks real at times.
Yeah.
So that was really impressive. The game is really strange. I know that you can transform into different insects and birds and all kinds of different things like that. We saw a little bit of that in the first trailer where I think you fly in as like a cicada and then you transform into your monkey man self.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're still learning about the game, right? Like this is I think a 12-minute gameplay demo mixed with some cutscenes. And the gameplay that we have, I mean, it looks great. It looks like the first demo that we had.
Mm.
It's just more. So I think that this is enough to probably get more people hyped on it because I think the first trailer was maybe not quite enough. This is basically just double the length. And to see some different environments and some different elemental conditions like snow, I think is really going to get people enticed. I know this is based off of, I think, a graphic novel or something.
Mm.
I want to say we mentioned that last time. But gameplay wise, I mean, this is a combo of Sekiro and Dark Souls and just a good quality Devil May Cry. In my opinion, it's like a nice marriage of those three.
Mm. So I was not aware that this is actually coming to the Xbox platform as well. I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive for some reason. So that makes me happy, man, because this is pretty cool looking, and it's certainly something that I would keep an eye on. I don't know that I'll necessarily jump into it, but it's gorgeous looking, and we don't get a lot of these types of games anymore. It's always nice to have something following Chinese mythology. Everything tends to be either uh, Middle Ages European or Japanese. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. Very good point. And it's funny. One of my work colleagues asked me about this. He's like, "Hey, dude, did you see the trailer for?" And I was like, "Black Myth Wukong." He's like, "Yep." And I was like, "I did." And we talked about it for a little bit. And later on, I was like, "Is this going to be a day one for you?" And he remarked with, "Well, is anything really a day one anymore?" And
Mm.
I really that sat with me for a while because nothing really is a day one in today's gaming world because we're all dealing with these backlogs and day one purchases are harder to come by. I guess it's kind of like the equivalent of a midnight release. No one goes to them anymore.
Mm.
And the ones that do, and if you're buying a game day one, this has to be something that you want to play immediately.
Right.
And do I want to play this tomorrow? Of course I do. I want to play it now, but I I just fear that there's still not quite enough to get me to play it immediately,
Mm.
but I want to play it. Like this is something that maybe I would pick up month one, unless there's something else that comes out that just really sells me on it. I think it looks great. Again, I think it reminds me a lot of Sekiro, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks hard. That's okay, but again, I fear that it could have the Sekiro effect where I really fall in love with the game and then I rage quit after like the third boss and
Yeah.
I put it on the back burner for like a year. So,
Mm.
you know, I don't know, man. I just think it's really cool looking. I think it's nice to see a Chinese developer or Chinese studio behind this. There are some mechanics that look really cool in terms of move sets and animations that are
Mm.
very intriguing. And outside of that, I mean, that's kind of it, man. It looks great.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, it looks like you have until 2023 to make a decision. It doesn't look.
Oh boy.
It's not coming out next year. so far they're targeting 2023 as a release date, and it doesn't even say what part of the year. So you're gonna have plenty of time to kind of make a decision about what order you want to play things in, and if that is going to be a day one purchase for you, you know, maybe it's worth planning around. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure. That's a great point, and maybe we're living in a world now where
Mm.
hearing about a release date 2, 3 years from now is not such a terrible thing anymore.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
almost kind of a relief.
in a way, I guess it kind
You're
of
like, oh
is.
God, thank God.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I think about stuff like that and trying to plan ahead, and then I just get sidetracked by something else. And shit, man. I've started 4 games in the past month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've been down that road with that conversation numerous times. So it's embarrassing to say, but at the same time too, it's like I'm having fun, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
I'm playing things that I'm enjoying, that I'm circling back to for the most part. I mean, I played Flight Simulator for like 2 days, so I guess that's kind of a bust. But Hades, I'm playing the shit out of. I keep going back to
It's
that.
funny. It's almost like accepting the problem. Like when you can
Yeah,
actually accept the fact that you have a problem,
yeah.
it makes everything a lot easier. Just be like, you know what, man? I may never get to that game. And it's almost liberating to say that out loud. Maybe that's the conversation you have in front of the mirror, is you say, you know what, Drew? Not only am I a piece of shit,
Hold on.
but
Let me bring you back up on the main screen here for this. Go ahead.
not only am I a piece of shit, but I cannot get to all these games, and I'm going to accept that. I may never play this game. I may talk about how I want to play it, but I may never purchase this game. I may never play it, and if I do, I may be terrible at it. I might not even beat the first boss, and that's okay. Why is it okay? Because I'm telling myself right now that it's okay that I'm terrible at these kind of games. It's okay that I have a giant backlog. I may never finish these games, ever in my lifetime finish them. And that's okay. But guess what? I'm going to keep buying games, and I'm not going to finish them. And that's okay. That is the conversation that you have with yourself. That's the conversation that we all must have to set this right, is you acknowledge the problem.
Oh, somebody please remind me to clip that from the final edit and just share it as something you guys can put as your alarm clock.